Hey everybody, it's Phil Struzula from Select Software Reviews, back with another interview with an expert. Today we're going to be talking about AI, video recruitment, candidate experience. Fatima Rassool is joining us from Elevatus. Um, Thank you so much for joining us. Do you mind giving us a little bit of background on yourself and what you do on a day-to-day basis?
Course. Thank you so much for the introduction, Phil. So I'm Tima from Elevatus. Elevatus is a tech company. It's a leading tech company that offers recruiting solutions that are revolutionizing the world of recruitment. It streamlines the entire talent acquisition process from creating job requisitions to onboarding new hires. Today, we have clients from all over the world that are leveraging our solutions to find and hire the workforce of tomorrow and help them find top talent that can help them grow. So I hope that this is good introduction.
Awesome. And I think, one of the areas that you're particularly an expert in is using artificial intelligence, AI in recruiting. And it's something that people are really, interested in. I think also maybe worried about from a perspective of, is this going to take my job? Am I going to get, in trouble for using this? There's some new rules and regulations that are being passed sort of as we speak. Do you mind just telling us about how companies can use AI in recruiting?
Of course. So, Phil, in the past, like recruiters, they overly relied on spreadsheets and file cabinets to sail through the recruitment process. So, they used to do everything manually. It used to be so time consuming. But today, recruiters are armed with the most powerful technology of all, which is AI. Today, AI is helping recruiters from all over the world streamline core recruitment functions such as screening, sourcing, interviewing, filtering, shortlisting top talent, even from hiring to onboarding. So we're seeing AI involved a lot in resume screening. So instead of having to spend endless hours, screening a resume, all you can do is just simply drag and drop all of these resumes you have into an AI-powered ATS, for example. In just seconds, it will parse all the information, create a centralized resume database for you, and you can actually filter through it in a fraction of the time. Today you can use AI in candidate sourcing. You can post jobs on thousands of job boards in just one single click. People are even using AI-powered AI technology in one-way video interviews, to ask more standardized questions. And most importantly, Phil, we're seeing AI being used a lot in predictive analytics. So you can generate AI-powered reports, recruiting reports that can help you, spot any bottlenecks or gaps that exist in your recruitment process and something that, you can improve. And this is something that in the past we didn't have. This is all something that we used to do manually, but nowadays we have the privilege of using AI to work faster and smarter, but at the same time, keep that human touch. AI is not here to take over our jobs or replace us. It's just here to support us and expedite the process of recruitment.
That's awesome. I think there's a lot there. And I think my takeaway is, hey, this stuff can really help with across lots of different vectors that you're probably dealing with as a recruiter.
Yeah.
What are some of the biggest obstacles to getting started and maybe some of the pitfalls that we should think about when using these tools?
Okay, so this is a brilliant question, Phil, because AI is revolutionizing the way we work, but AI is no substitute for empathy, which means that, a lot of candidates in recruitment, when they feel like they're, dealing with just another computer system that is giving them an automatic reply, they'll feel disconnected. They'll feel like you as a recruiter, you're not giving them time of the day. You're not giving them a call, keeping them in the loop, letting them know that you appreciate their time and effort. So I'll just give you an example. One of the biggest challenges is let's say there's a big resume gap in, the candidate's resume. As a system, they might automatically disqualify the candidate for this gap. But as a recruiter, we understand, or we will be able to understand from the candidate that maybe this big gap is because of, a health issue, supporting family, or something that really stopped the candidate from applying for other jobs. So as recruiters, we're more understanding. There's a human touch. So I guess that this human touch is something that is missing. And it's one of the biggest challenges in AI. And even giving you another example is that a lot of, candidates, they don't have the experience, but, sitting with the recruiter, taking more interviews with them, sitting down with them, and giving space for the recruiter to ask more questions, gauge more about their potential. This is something that AI is not able to do. So this is something that I really think is one of the biggest challenges, is that the lack of human touch.
So it's basically don't 100% rely on this technology to do the work for you. It's sort of like your applicant tracking system can't do all of the hiring right now. Like there's a
Yeah.
lot of things that a human has to do, and this technology is no different. It can be a multiplier on your time, your energies, but at the end of the day, it's not going to replace you as a person. So don't think it can.
100%. 100%. I totally agree with that.
I know that you're also sort of an expert in, video interviews. I guess I'm curious a little bit about, for those who aren't familiar, if you could talk a little bit about how, one-way video interviews can speed up the recruitment process. But then probably even more interestingly, how does AI fit into this video interview paradigm? I know that in the past, there's been a company that maybe we won't talk about that got in a lot of trouble for using AI in video interview
Yeah.
screening. And now there's like, some laws in like New York and other places where you're technically not allowed to use this technology. But it also seems like a pretty powerful application.
Yeah. So, Phil, what's interesting is that years ago, we all know about the hassle of scheduling an interview, how long it takes to actually have a candidate get in touch with a recruiter, decide on a good time to conduct the interview. It could probably take days, and the back and forth emails, it's like a never ending ping pong game. But with one-way video interviews, especially those that are AI powered, so, if you have an AI powered video interviewing software, what it can do is that it saves you so much time, because candidates can actually schedule interviews at a time that suits them best. So geographical barriers don't exist, time zones don't exist. As a recruiter, you don't need to stay up till 9 p.m. Just to find a suitable time to interview this overseas candidate. Instead, you can send them a one-way video interview that these candidates can take from the comfort of their own home, their favorite bean bag, sitting at the in the kitchen doing their assessment. But this is something that is especially useful for recruiters nowadays, because recruitment is so fast paced. Top talent are not in the market for long enough. So with one-way video interviews, you can just send these assessments to hundreds of candidates, with standardized questions, of course. And as a recruiter, you can just assess them at your own leisure the next day. And you can actually find that in just a matter of days, you will be able to assess, to interview, and even hire top talent in days instead of weeks or months. So definitely, I think that one-way video interviews, especially those that are powered by AI, can definitely speed up the recruitment process and probably save up to 90% of your time.
And how does AI fit into the video interviews?
Okay, that's a very great question. So, for example, I'm just going to give you an example of our video interviewing software. In our video interviewing software, we have AI-powered features, such as the model answer feature. So in a model answer feature, it's the ideal answer that you expect to hear from candidates. So you can add a model answer to every single assessment question. And then what you can do, what the AI is so intelligent, it will compare the model answer to your model answer and generate a relevancy percentage that shows you how closely the candidate was able to answer your question. And at an eye glance, you can see whether, they were qualified or not. Many video interviewing softwares, they also help in generating psychometric reports. So these are personality reports that are powered by AI and scientifically validated by the 5-factor model. So through their own personality traits, you're able to gauge more and learn more about the candidates. We see many AI features in video interviewing software where you can rank the candidates in order of qualification. So this is also something that is time saving. So I hope I was able to answer your question, Phil. Of course, these are just a few of the AI powered features that we can find in video interviewing.
Do you have any specific examples of companies that, success stories, people that have used this technology and some of the results that they saw?
Exactly, definitely. We've had so many different companies that were able to assess over 2,000 students for a program that they had in a matter of 2 weeks. And, Phil, AI is not just having a huge impact in video interviewing, but also in recruitment. So, for example, recently we have launched a healthcare ATS just a couple of months ago that is creating big waves in the healthcare sector. And one of the top hospitals in the MENA region have leveraged our software, and through it, they were able to create over 32 onboarding journeys. They were able to, centralize the visa management process, for thousands of healthcare professionals. They were even able to create a huge database of 20,000 healthcare professionals. So this is all through the help of AI. And this is just to name a few. Like, we're seeing a lot of also improvements in terms of like ROI, boosting the ROI, recruiting in days instead of weeks, and much more.
Where do you, I guess like it's pretty interesting how this technology seems to be taking the world by storm. Do you have any predictions on where it might be in 2 to 5 years?
Definitely. I think year after year, Phil, it's just becoming more sophisticated and integrated, like into every stage of the hiring process. And just recently, like, we saw how ChatGPT is creating like this huge impact. And just this year alone, we were able to integrate ChatGPT to establish 26 different integrations with ChatGPT. And also, like, we're seeing, I think that in the future, I think that AI is going to be able to even conduct more advanced interviews rather than just preliminary interviews. It will be used, in conducting advanced interviews rather than just preliminary interviews. I see maybe chatbots being used to communicate with candidates. So maybe it's in the middle of the night, the candidate has a question, so they don't have to wait for the recruiter the next morning to ask them something. Maybe I see it even maybe predicting a candidate's long-term success, but there's no way to predict anything because, like, AI technology, like, overnight is just catching us by storm. So I really think that there's a lot of potential for it, but there's no exact way to predict what's in it for the future.
Do you have any advice for recruiting teams that are listening to this and saying, hey, this is pretty interesting, like, how do I get started?
Yeah, I think one of the first things you need to do is identify which areas of the recruitment process that you want to streamline through AI. So maybe it's the process of communicating with candidates via email, maybe it's maybe it's filtering resumes, maybe it's shortlisting top talent, sourcing, posting jobs. So you need to identify what areas of the recruitment process it is that you want to automate. And you also need to keep the human touch alive. You need to keep candidates informed, like, give them a call every once in a while. Like, yes, it's nice to, create automated emails, but you need to know that candidates also want to be heard. They also want to speak to a human. They want to speak to you. They want to know that their time is appreciated. And it's also nice to involve AI in the initial screening process, but it's also nice to involve the human judgment in the final decision-making process. So you can leave the hefty work or the final decisions to be made by actual recruiters and HR managers. And last but not least, you need to really get trained on this AI technology because it's so powerful. You need to really, leverage its features in the right way, use it in the right way. It's like ChatGPT. It's great, but you need to feed it with the content. So it's just as good as the data and content that you feed it with. And you always need to continuously stay on track on recruitment trends, what's happening, because everything is evolving at an unprecedented rate. And I think this is the best advice I can give to any recruiter out there that is looking to leverage AI to, hire top talent faster.
That's awesome. Team, I've really enjoyed our conversation, and I'm sure everybody who watched this video will as well. If somebody's watching this and is interested to follow up with you, how can they connect online?
Definitely. You can just visit us at, Elevatus, www.elevatus.io, or you can, request a demo. I can even maybe just drop down my email and you can reach out to me. You can even find me on LinkedIn.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.